There are two types of sports bettors. The ones who deposit every single week hoping to see some sort of profit, and then there's ones who actually profit long term. For years, I was part of that 99% that was just chasing losses, rage betting, making dumbass plays. Well, a few $1,000,000 later, I learned the real strategy behind becoming a profitable sports bettor. It's never been about luck. It's about understanding how the books fuck over the 99%. Now, this is a complete NBA sports betting guide for any beginner out there. I'm going to break down the very basics of sports betting, how to read odds, how to find value, the best research tools out there to save you hours of time, how to manage your bankroll so that you actually maintain your profits. I'm basically gonna show you how you can become the 1 in 100. And trust me, I've lost multiple stacks of hundreds of thousands of dollars learning all this shit, and you're getting it completely for free, so lock the fuck in. If you're a beginner, you probably heard of fantasy apps just like this. We're talking about Prize Picks, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Underdog, Better, Dabble. There's a shit ton. But let's break down what the hell this actually is, because you have to be able to understand what you're doing. All right, so as you guys can see here, this is just one of my sports books that I really like to use. As you can see, I'm obviously cashing out. But what fantasy apps are is just a specific player prop. We're not betting on the team winning. We're not betting on who's getting MVP or that sort of thing. We're betting on Keegan Murray 19.5 PRA. We're betting on Sabonis 18.5 points. The thing that you got to be careful about is that you're able to parlay these, right? Just like any other book. But this is where the books really get you, because this is all that they market. They constantly market these 100x's, these million x's, because they want you to place these bets so that you can lose. If sports bettors were able to make a shit ton of money like this, 99% would not be unprofitable. Trust me, listen to your boy and literally just stick to only 2 of them. You gotta trust in the process. Take that 2.5, take that 3x payout and call it a day. Because even this, I'm gonna explain later in the video that this is not even optimal for sports betting. But if you know what you're doing, you can obviously do some crazy shit. Don't listen to these dumbass gurus telling you to lock in that 10-leg parlay to take $10 to 10 gazillion. Yeah, nah, fuck that guy. But what I'm about to show you next is seriously revolutionary. We got my secret sauce. Yeah, it's just the actual sportsbook plays, so this goes into chapter 2. Now, you may already be familiar with these terms. If you are, I might as well refresh your fucking memory. We got money line, okay? This is from books like DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Bet365. Now, this is a traditional sportsbook. This is what is the OG of sports betting, what created that dumbass meme. This is what created real degeneracy before Prize Picks came along and made it 10 times worse for 18-year-olds. But anyways, enough yapping. Money lines is basically just deciding if the team itself is going to win the actual game. Now, this has nothing to do with any specifics. This is literally just if Lakers versus Pistons and Lakers won. If the Lakers win, you win $100 for every $200 that you put in. What does this mean? This means that the odds are at minus 200. Now, whenever a book is at a minus, that means that they are favorites. Just kind of think of its opposite. So it's like if you're at minus 200, you are favorited to win the game. Kind of like by $100, I guess you could say. So if you put in $200, you win $100 profit, which is only a 1.5x payout. Now you can see why people really like parlaying, because they like that 3x, 10x, whatever the fuck. But if you compare it to Pistons money line, we're at plus 150. Now these guys are underdogs for the game because it is plus. So you get back $150 for every $100 that you put in. You put in $100, you get $150 back. Profit. I feel like that's pretty easy to explain, but you can use these odds to really be able to tell how a game is perceived by the books. So let's say the Lakers versus Pistons, and you're doing research and you see Lakers at minus 200. That means that they're heavily favored for this game. Heavily favored because the payout is kind of cheeks. Let's move on to spreads. Same matchup, Lakers versus Pistons, except we have minus 7.5. What the fuck does minus 7.5 mean? This basically just means at the end of the game, let's say Lakers got 50 points and Pistons got 50 points. The Lakers have to win by 7.5 because we're subtracting 7.5 from the Lakers total. So we have Lakers points, Pistons points. Subtract 7.5 from 50, and if this is less than this, that means you lost this spread if you took it. And obviously the game was tied. The Lakers are at minus 7.5, so of course they did not win this. Now let's say for Pistons, if the Pistons was at 50 and 50, the Pistons get 8 points because it's plus 8. So anytime you see spreads, just think to yourself, okay, I'm adding this to the end game total. You can also use this to really determine if there's going to be a high likelihood of a blowout. So for example, if there was a fucking minus 20 spread on this game, stay away from it because that is projecting the Lakers to blow out the Pistons by over 20 points. You don't want to bet on a fucking blowout. The bench players do not care if you're gonna win or not, because if it's a blowout, all the star players are gonna get pulled out and they're gonna get, you know, they're not gonna be able to play as much minutes as they usually do because it's a blowout. These two tools right here are very, very useful for any sports bettor that is just trying to really get a brief understanding of a game. Like for example, let's say you're a LeBron glazing dumbass and you really want LeBron on that day, but it's a fucking minus 20 spread. You already know you shouldn't be betting on that game, even though LeBron, click on. All right, before I roasted 50% of the audience, now we're gonna move on to prize picks. Chapter 3, we got fade the public bets. Now what I mean by this is that once you download prize picks, oh, don't mind me, I'm not actually broke. This is just a burner account. As you can see, all of these icons right here are showing you that these are the most popular plays on the tab. Do you think a book would show you this shit if they actually wanted you to win? Just think to yourself, buddy, is this a wise choice? 100,000% stay away from these popular picks tabs. Some of them are good, but keep in mind it works like this. Let's just say, for example, Jarrett Allen was actually a really good prop. He might have dropped on the board at 9.5 rebounds, but since he became so popular, 80% of the community is betting on him, and now they jumped his line to 10.5. And you're not even getting a better payout because if you check, you're still only getting a fucking 3x payout compared to if the odds actually jumped up a bunch. Remember, keep in mind, if the odds got crazier, more people are betting on it, you would actually get a higher payout. But with prize picks, you do not. It was always going to be a flat rate payout. This is seriously what people do not take into account. You got to be on top of those line movements and have the proper tools to be able to track all this shit. When the public hammers that shit, you stay away from it, bruh. And if you're that much of a LeBron glazer and you want to lock it in on a real book so that you can get the juice, because you're going to get a 3x on here, but you're going to get a 4x or a 3.5x over on DraftKings or FanDuel, and all that shit adds up at the end of the year, boys. All right, and we got the best NBA strategies. Now, betting on the NBA is pretty different than any other sport because of the volume and the frequency. You have NBA games literally every day, and there's multiple games, multiple matchups, multiple injuries, multiple team trades, multiple everything. But I really like to pay attention to the things that most people kind of don't look at. There's typical shit like looking at the last 10, looking at the last 5, looking at the last matchup shit, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but I'm gonna give you guys the specifics. I like to look at teams playing back-to-back games. Now, certain teams tend to play in a certain way if they're playing back-to-back games. This could either mean locking in some unders or locking in some overs, such as locking in some rebounds because the players will be more tired, they're gonna miss more shots. You have to look at shot zones, opponent rankings, all this type of stuff. That also goes into injury reports. Look at the different types of teams that are created off of these injuries. If a single star player is injured, you guys already know it changes the complete game. Wait for the final injury reports before locking in any slips. A lot of you guys will lock in plays prematurely. Like, you guys will get so fucking excited and then lock in LeBron, lock in Curry, lock in whatever. But just wait. If they're on injury report, literally just wait until there's a final decision made. Also, keep in mind the pacing of each game. Certain teams pace at a completely different level than some teams. Like, think about the Sacramento Kings. They play at one of the highest paces in the league right now. And so maybe some over props, maybe some points, maybe some rebounds. It really just depends on what you're looking at. Now, if a team looks really solid, a matchup looks really good, then you gotta bet early. What books tend to do is they kind of wait until the very last second to unlock the props because they kind of give you the shitty props first and they kind of gatekeep the really good ones. So you kind of gotta stay up till like midnight and really lock in that early ass value. Those of you watching this who sports bet and know, you guys are staying up till midnight fucking waiting for that nice ass prop to drop. But it always ends up being worth it because you catch value early on. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do all this so easy as well. But basically, the best NBA strategy is don't bet blindly, don't be dumb, and just be very consistent with this system that I'm going to give you in the rest of the video. Because truthfully, bro, anyone can sit at a computer for 10 fucking hours and tell you they got the locks of the day. At the end of the day, it's about the system and the strategy and the long-term goals. This goes into chapter 5, line shopping and researching plays. Listen carefully, not all lines were created equal. Yes, there is discrimination among the books. Different books set different lines, which means different odds, different payouts, and all that type of shit. You gotta be able to compare lines, catch value so that you can secure that bread. Even 0.5 of a line matters. Imagine you have Stephen Curry at 10.5 assists compared to 11 assists. If he ends up on 11, one you get fully cashed out, the other you just push. And that 0.5 value really matters at the end of the year. Just line shop, don't give money to the books. Now, this can all be streamlined by using popular tools. Like, never go on the PrizePicks board and just randomly scan shit, because you'll literally never succeed. This is a perfect time to talk about StatKing. This is a sports betting research tool that makes shit 1,000 times easier for you. You can already tell, you can compare all the lines on the books, as you guys can see right there, and it even highlights the best line on the entire board. You can also see the hit rate in every single category right there in front of your face. No other research tool will do this for you. This is why I'm showing this one and this one only. And the best thing about this tool is that it is 100% free, as you can see. It is currently still in beta mode right now, so it's not available to the public. But if you're watching this in April or so on, you can just head to the App Store and type in StatKing. I'll just leave it in the description down below. But just press get started. I already have an account, but you just press skip and that's it. It's completely free. Pick your location and that's it. You pick your books, call it a day, and then you get to cooking. So once you're signed up and all in, you can see you can literally just scroll through and look at all the hit rates, check out all the books. And the best thing about this is that it's optimized so that you can compare all the lines. So if it's not on Chalkboard or PrizePicks, it will show you. Other sports betting tools actually won't even do this. You'll even be able to click whatever platform you want and press bet right away. It'll take you straight to the book and you can literally do whatever you want. The reason why I like this app so much is because it's actually free and it's for the people. There is zero hidden fees. It is a genuine free software. And yeah, you guessed right. It's my software that I'm building. But anyways, enough yapping. Let's get on to managing your risk and managing your bankroll. All right, now we got bankroll, units, and tolerance. So sports betting is never just about winning. You're not always gonna wanna just win bets and win bets. You know, like most people on social media, they kinda don't tell you, yeah, they win bets, but they kinda lose that shit the next day. This is all going to be reliant on you being able to manage your bankroll. This, I would say, is even more important than anything else I've told you up until now. Well, besides StatKing. StatKing is fucking nuts. Bankroll is just how much you have in your entire balance. So managing your bankroll is just, you know, properly making sure that you're chilling. Like, let's say you want to get into crypto, right? You're not gonna throw all that shit in a single coin, right? Trust me, just don't. Next up, we got units. This is just a unit of measure for how much you're gonna be placing on a single bet. Like me, as you saw earlier, I placed $2,000, $3,000 bets. That is my unit size. But in correlation to my bankroll, that's only 1 to 5% of my entire balance. So keep in mind, if you have $100 in your balance, you should only be betting $1 to $5 a bet. Now, I know that sounds boring, but trust me, you're gonna be placing a shit ton of bets every day, every week. It fucking adds up. You don't want to be placing like 10, 20% on a single play, losing it all the next day. Trust me, you probably already done that shit, so just listen to me. Next up is tolerance. Tolerance relates to your unit size. As you can see, I really wouldn't push past 5%. 5% is kind of already a lot. The tolerance is really just up to you. Like, you have free will. By the way, this isn't financial advice, you can't sue me. But tolerance is completely up to you. Being able to manage your bankroll, run units, and understanding your own tolerance and your personal situation is going to get you to all those wins that you desperately want to be at. I have over $500,000 in my bankroll. I'm still only betting between $5,000 to $10,000 a play. In correlation, that's not that much. Now, how many bets you place in a day is really up to what you're doing. I would kind of stick to the 1 to 3 bets a day in the range. Don't really go crazy like 5, 6, 7, 8 bets, but also just depends. Are you on PrizePicks or are you on DraftKings? FanDuel, Underdog, Sleeper, whatever it is. If you like the fantasy apps, I would kind of lower your unit size and kind of run less slips. If you're on the sportsbook side, I will go a little bit heavier and still run less slips because it is just way likelier to cash. And most profitable sports bettors actually don't even profit from PrizePicks. It's mostly from sportsbooks. PrizePicks is like, I would say 1 in 1,000 people are actually profitable, and they're only profitable because they quit. Now I need you to lock in, because with chapter 7, this is where shit really gets real. This is something that pretty much no one talks about, which is securing profits and locking in your wins. One of the biggest mistakes of sports bettors is that they actually don't even withdraw their profits. You win, you win, you win, and then you just never withdraw until you eventually lose it all, which leads you into depositing. I know it sounds simple, but trust me, just set up a system to where you're withdrawing weekly or monthly profits. I withdraw around 50% of my profits every single week. I keep the 50 in there to continue to stack my bankroll Bankroll. This number will change and depend just on your situation. Now we have chapter 8, the best sport to bet on. Some people swear by the NBA, some people swear by the NFL, some people say tennis, some people say like fucking cricket. The real answer, don't limit yourself to a single sport. NBA I love, there's a shit ton of volume, there's games every single day, there's always those hidden gems. NFL is very profitable, there's only a few games in a single week, so you can really take your time to research and understand everything that's going on. MLB is really good for trends, certain pitcher props, and typically you can always pair up props with like hitter props or base props, and they're very good pairs to cash out easily. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that. And then we even got UFC, which I do frequently. And this is where you can find really nice underdogs, high payouts, or even safe bets if you really know your fighters. The best strategy is to have 2 to 3, maybe 4 sports in rotation so that you're constantly bouncing back and forth. If one sport goes cold, okay, you're good, you have NBA. If NBA goes cold, it's all good, you got UFC that weekend. Now, if you're a beginner watching this video, trust me, I know this can be a lot to take in. When I first started sports betting, I lost tens of thousands of dollars because I really didn't know what I was doing. But this is exactly why, first, I made Stat King completely free for you. And second, I have a complete free Discord where you can go and learn even more tips and strategies. And best of all, get plays from me, your boy himself. So head to the top link in the description to go join that. Hit the subscribe button. Go watch my other videos. I got some crazy ass challenges out there. I like gave ChatGPT $20,000 to gamble with. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Share it with your boys because you guys are all degenerate freaks. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.